People have already tried to turn it into a politics thing, which is just ridiculous. There's always going to be tornadoes. There's always going to be floods. There's always going to be hurricanes. I think it's appropriate to hold politicians accountable when they don't clean up after an event occurs or don't provide the necessary resources after an event occurs, a hurricane, fire. Maybe put the fire out in Los Angeles and have the ability to do it. But the idea that this was somehow President Trump's fault, or it's a governor's fault, or it's a congressman or voters. I mean, these little girls didn't vote for anybody. And I think the exact same loss of death and loss of life would have occurred if Joe Biden were president, or Kamala Harris were president, or George W. Bush were president, because the flooding didn't have anything to do with who was in office. And the loss of life didn't have anything to do with who was in office. So part of me wonders, is there a way to have along the banks of the river some sort of alert system that would be loud like the tornado sirens are, so that people are aware, hey, these floods are coming? Because based on what I'm reading and seeing, what sounds awful was people became aware that their places were flooding when the water was already there. And the water came up so quickly that a lot of people were just unable to get away. And so I think that's probably going to be one of the aspects of this story that gets looked at. Again, if the Trump administration does a poor job in the wake of the floods, then I think that is fair game, just like it's fair game to challenge and criticize any politician when it comes to a response to a weather event. But for the weather event itself, nobody chooses to make a hurricane happen as a politician. Nobody chooses to make a flood happen. Nobody chooses to make a tornado happen. I don't know. I think social media makes it worse. I saw a lot of awful things like, hey, this is what happened. You deserve some pediatrician was like, hey, I hope that, I don't know what makes people behave in that way, but I think you have a dark, dark part of your soul if the first thing that you think when something bad happens is, I hope as many people as possible die, because that's a part of the country that I've decided bad people live in.